It's that time again. Time for me to share with you what I colored in the month of January 2026. Before I show you the pages that I colored in January, let's take a look inside my planner. First of all, I colored this. I am not happy with this because the Crazy Art crayons are not good. They are awful. And I discovered that when I tried to color this little flower here. And I also discovered it when I tried to color something here and here with the Crazy Art crayons. But enough about that. Let's skip on over to January to see what I did in January here. I colored this little page here. This is a page illustrated by R.J. Hampson, and the name of it is Wave Hello to the New Year. I think that's the name of the page. I used my newly purchased Crazy Art Super Tips. I have never used those Super Tips before. I have the Crayola Super Tips. I don't really know if this looks bad or good, but I can tell you that I enjoyed coloring this because I was not stressed about trying to choose colors. I was just picking colors and I was not even giving it a thought. I was just coloring. So I really enjoyed this page, and I thought it was a type of page that is relaxing and calming. So yeah, love this page. And what I noticed about the Crazy Art markers is that they are really bright. That's one thing that I noticed. So yeah, really bright. Now let's get into what I colored and all that good stuff. This month in January, I have 4 buddy colors that I did. I also colored 16 pages, but I really consider myself having probably colored 13, and I'll explain that to you when I get to the book. With the stats back here, I purchased 16 books, but you know that I'm going on a low, LOW, to a no buy, and I am starting in February. So I will not be purchasing. I don't know, because there are some books on my list that I want to buy. I'm just going to save my coins because a lot of these books are on the pricey side, especially the Wildegorn. And I want to get Serene. And I want to get the book called, I don't even know the name of it, but the author's name is Carla somebody. I know the cover and I have bookmarked it on Etsy. Also, I want to get the Forest Girls coloring book, the Korean version with the better paper and the inspirational pages to reference. And This Annoying Life. Over here, I have a few stats. I'm not really big into keeping up with how many followers I gain, how many followers I lose. I'm not really into that, but I did write it down here. As you can see, I really didn't write down a plus or minus type of thing, especially when it came to Instagram. I don't keep up with that. All I know is I reached 1,000 subscribers or followers in January. So that was good and exciting to me. For my YouTube channel, my subscribers are organically moving up steadily. And I think I gained 89 subscribers, which is pretty good to me. I'm thankful for that. And over the course of getting this number, I always lose subscribers. People will unsubscribe for whatever reason, and then I'll end up getting more subscribers. And then it just goes up and down. So I don't really keep an eye on this too closely. I look more at my views than I do anything. That's what kind of tells me how I'm doing. 4 buddy colors, and I have 16 pages. I circled 13 because to me, I only did 13. And then here I colored in 9 books. I hope that wasn't too long, but let's move on to the pages. I colored a few pages in Bob Ross Kawaii Coloring. I colored this page here, and I think I used Pro Color. I'm not really sure what I used. I can't remember. But I colored this when I did my flip through of this coloring book. The next page is this page. This is the introduction page, and I used Derwent Color Soft color pencils for this page. I colored this page, and I used the Derwent Color Soft color pencils, and to get this smooth I used my alcohol marker blender, which is clear. Also, let me bring this up closer. You can see white gel pen. You can see the little sparkles here. I believe I used Jelly Roll Stardust, but I'm going to check to be sure because sometimes I use Sparkle Pop and that be popping, okay? And then I have here on the words or the letters, I have Jelly Roll, but I use the metallic colors. But yeah, this is it here. I think it turned out quite nicely. I was very pleased with this page. But when I first started this page out, I was going to use markers. And then I said, oh no, I don't think I'm going to do that. And then I started to color with pencil over the sky. Let me make sure I quoted the pens right. Yeah, I did not use Sparkle Pop. I thought I did, but I didn't. The next page in here is a buddy color with my buddy, Miss Sherry. This is my page, and this is where I use my Sparkle Pop. I got creative, and I think my lighting might be a little too high. There we go. It's a little too bright. For this page, I use my Staedtler Pigment Art brush tip pens, and I had a lot of fun using it. Now up here again, I was going to go with pencil for the background, and then I decided that no, I'm going to use something else, and that's what I did. So you can see the little white gel pen, I used that. You can see the little sparkly stuff. Now this is where I did use Sparkle Pop a lot. Down here, two-tone color going on. Yeah. So one of the things you should know also is that I do have the Bob Ross Color by Number coloring book, and I referenced that book when it came to coloring the snowy mountains. And I got a lot of compliments about how the snow looked and how the mountains looked in the first place. So that was my secret. I had to go back to that book to look at the references of the pictures that were in that one. So check it out. Now, here is Miss Sherry's picture right here. I am going to put her picture here up on the screen. And while I'm doing this, I do have Miss Sherry's picture pulled up on my phone, because the secret is that when we film, I don't really have the picture up on the screen. I have to look at hers. Okay, so here is Miss Sherry's picture. I love what she did with the snow, how she put the blue in there, and it just looked like a snowy, cold day. And she used her sparkle, I don't know if she used Sparkle Pop, but I'm looking at her picture and I can tell that she used some sparkly gel pen. But hers is simple, and it is also really clean and neat and fun looking, and it just looks good. And I like the way she incorporated the blue into the snow. And she has Bob Ross's fro colored. I could tell where she went, and she's doing the little curly cues in the fro, which is too cute. All right, that is it for Miss Sherry's buddy color. Thank you so much, Sherry, for coloring with me. I know you'll be coloring with me in February, and so I look forward to doing another buddy color with you. And that's all I colored in Bob Ross Kawaii Coloring. The next page I have to show you is from Circle of Life by Mel Pomini, and this is the page that I colored. I used the Sphere Farben color pencils, and I also used my white gel pen. And for the birds here, I used a Jelly Roll pen that's called Glaze. It kind of gives you that slick, shiny look. There it is. As the light hits, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And it's kind of raised a little bit. The other gel pens are from King Arts around here. And I think I did use maybe Sakura Jelly Rolls as well. So I used a combination of gel pens. So check it out. I am pleased with this page. I think it turned out quite nicely. And that is all I colored in Circle of Life. I colored a page in Nature Mandalas by Mel Pomini, and this is the page that I colored. I used these Spear Farben pencils. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. And I also used some white gel pen, and around here you can kind of see the little gel pen action going on here. I think that is glitter, stardust. Yeah, so if you were looking at it with me, then you will be able to tell that these areas right in here, they're sparkly. Yeah, that's where I use my sparkly gel pen. And that's it. I like the way this turned out. That's all I colored in Nature Mandalas. I colored 2 pages in Wonderful Wildflower by Johanna Basford. Here is the first page. Check it out. I was using Prismacolor up here, right into here, I believe. Then I decided to start using Derwent Color Soft, right in here, I believe. And then I decided to test my Derwent Chroma Flow. So I used 3 different pencils from 2 different brands, okay? I was trying to see which one I liked the best. And of course, Prismacolor wins every time. But both of the other pencils, the Color Soft and the Chroma Flow, they look good too. That is it for this page. And here is the next page that I colored. This page got a lot of likes. People really like this page, how I colored it. So here it is. The background, I used my Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils. I haven't really used those that much, but I'm going to start using them more for the background. The way I did the background, of course, I used the pencils, but then I took a Q-tip and I would smear it out. And once I got the background done, I went and sprayed it with a fixative so that I can continue to color. The pencils that I used for this page were the Spear Farben color pencils, and I also used Sakura Jelly Roll Metallic Gold on the stems of the flowers. And you may not be able to tell this, but I'm going to bring you up closer. On the flowers, I actually have white dots on them. And I used a 0.5 millimeter white gel pen from Sakura. It's the Jelly Roll. And in the middle, I tried to do a little, I don't know, a little rainbow type of situation on the butterfly here. And I did use, you can see that little sparkle right there. I used the Stardust to outline the butterfly. This is one of my favorite pages of the month. That is all I colored in Wonderful Wildflowers. I colored 1 page in Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. And here is the page. On this page, this is where I was testing out my stencils, and you can see the clouds there and these little circular things going on. This is a buddy color that I did with Tiku's Coloring Corner. And I will put her picture up in just a minute. But yeah, I was trying to think outside of the box in this picture here. So here's what I used for the clouds and these little circular dots. I was going for not rain, but more like a magical moment, you know. But anyway, I used the Faber-Castell gelatos. Well, they're not gelatos anymore. They're called art crayons. I used that for the clouds and for this area. And then for the pencils, I used the Sphere Farben color pencils. And that's what I used. To get them really, really smooth, I came in with my alcohol marker, the blender one, which is clear to make it smooth. Okay. That is pretty much all I did on this page. Here is Tiku's picture right over here. I love the way she colored this. She made it her own by putting the little lines on here and doing the art and the little flowers, adding that to her illustration, which was really, really nice. Tiku's picture is beautiful. I love the way she did the little clouds, and she added some birds in here. She added more grass and flowers and even a little lantern over there hanging on the little flower. So this was very creative what she did, and I love it. I love the way she just took it and made it her own. Great job, Tiku. Thank you so much for buddy coloring with me. I look forward to buddy coloring with you again. And that is all I colored in Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. I colored a few pages in Luna, illustrated by Maria Troll. And this is the page that I completed here. I think it turned out so lovely. A lot of people really liked this picture when I shared it on Instagram. And I can't remember if I shared it on my YouTube or not. But anyway, this is one of my favorite pages of the month. I used colored pencil, specifically the Staedtler colored pencils, the Ergo Soft, the Super Soft. And when I say the Staedtler colored pencils, I'm talking about the Design Journey pencils. And I also used my white gel pen, Jelly Roll, Stardust in the colors of blue and clear. So let me show you this up close and personal. And in the water, you may not be able to see the sparkle, but this is where I put the sparkle on the little dots that are there. Yeah. And also the blue Stardust, I went around the border of the picture here at the frame. And that is it for that one. I do have a buddy color in here. I don't think my buddy completed hers, but when she does complete hers, I will publish it on the YouTube post tab and also on Instagram. But here's my page here. I may need to raise it up just a little bit. Yeah, this is a double page spread. And for this, I thought about using pencil, but then I realized that this is a lot. So I decided to use a medium that I have forgotten about. And that medium is Tombow marker. So I used markers on here, which helped me to color it pretty quickly. And I also used Jelly Roll Gold Metallic to trace things on here, and I'll show you that up close and personal. And then Stardust clear on the little twinkle lights here, okay, or twilights. So here it is up close. You can see I think I used Stardust here, clear on these are the pistils, I believe. Yeah, stamens where they have the pollen. And then I put the sparkle here, I believe. Yeah. So metallic gold to outline, Tombow markers, and then on these little wings, I have a little sparkle going on the dots there. This little animal here has sparkle in its eyes. I put sparkle on the peacock here. And here's a little girl here in the tree. And more sparkle. I know it doesn't really look like a night scene, but these are the colors that I had and I decided to use them. This scene is actually on the cover of the book. Yeah. And I kind of looked at the cover of the book to get an idea of how I needed to place my colors. So that's all I colored in Luna by Maria Troll. I colored a page in the mythographic Wolf Moon by Gloria Shuguleva. And this is the page here. The first thing I did when I started coloring this page was I brought out my alcohol markers. The Ohuhu, I think they are a pastel set that I have, a small set, but I started coloring the whole picture. And I did that sitting in the shop where I was getting my car repaired. So I was coloring and basing that. I've never really based a picture with alcohol markers, but I did for this one. And then I came back in with colored pencil, the Sphere Farben colored pencils. Immediately when I started putting that on the paper, I started noticing that it didn't feel right. It felt rough. So I still went with it, but I did not like the experience of coloring over the markers with the colored pencils. Maybe those weren't the right pencils for me to use with those alcohol markers. But anyway, I did the best I could, and this is how it turned out. I really enjoyed coloring this because I really didn't know what to expect. I can't remember what this character is called. Somebody had named it in one of my videos, but I can't remember. If you know what this little character is here, let me know. But it's more of a fantasy, mythical type of thing, I believe. I also used white gel pen in the sky for the little white spots because there were a lot of little dots in the sky. I could have used, I guess, some sparkle, but I just used white. And then I came down in the water and I used some white gel pen in this area. You can see where the white gel pen is. And that is it. I enjoy coloring this with the markers more than I did with the pencils, but you know, I'm living and I'm learning when it comes to being a colorist. So next time I know what to do and what not to do. But overall, I think this turned out pretty good. That's all I colored in Mythographic Wolf Moon. I did one page in Hidden Seasons coloring book by Rita Berman. This is a buddy color page. This is the page I colored here. For the background, I used the Sphere Farben colored pencils, and for the rest of the page, I used Staedtler colored pencils. I have white gel pen for the snow here, white gel pen on the deer here, white gel pen here. Now you see some blue here. That's more of a sparkly. I think that is the Stardust from Sakura Jelly Roll. And then I put some of that Stardust here. You really can't tell. And I put it here. And I think, yeah, that's the only place. And of course the trees, I used my Staedtler pencils there. And then right in here I used some white gel pen little white gel pen wherever they have snow on the trees at. That's where I put my little white. Yeah. I really enjoyed coloring this. At first, I did not have a clue about how I was going to color this, but it worked itself out. Here is my buddy's page, Fayth Elizabeth. She also did trees that were yellow, kind of, sort of, but more of a toned down. Mine is like bright in your face. Ugh. Anyway, I don't really like how mine is. I think I could have toned it down a little more. That's when Fayth came in and said, hey, I'm going to tone this down. And she did just that. What I love about her page is that she has the snow coming down onto the deer and then onto the little ground area over here. And I really just love this illustration. It looks so cozy and it looks like a nice winter night where the deer are out and they are just chilling. Yeah. One thing about Fayth coloring, I noticed with her pencil, I love the way she uses pencil. The texture is there when she uses pencil, and that's what I really like when she colors something with pencil. I think she used Mondo Llama color pencils, and I can't remember the other pencils that she used. But I really love how she colored this. Great job. Pretty coloring, Leo. I'm looking at your picture, but you are Fayth Elizabeth on YouTube. Yeah, so thank you so much for buddy coloring with me. We're going to be buddy coloring again in February, and I look forward to doing that with you. And that is all I colored in Hidden Seasons by Rita Berman. The last few pages I have to share with you are from How to Draw Inky Wonderlands by Johanna Basford. Now, this is the book that I really did not want to count as 3 pages, but I included the pages to be 16. But this is where the 3 come from that I really don't feel like I need to count. This is the book that I was referring to. On this page, which is the title page, I use my Caran d'Ache Pablo colored pencils. So check it out here. And that is all I use, no gel pen or anything. Moving on to the nameplate page. I started coloring over here, but I also was testing out some pencils and testing out things that I was learning when I started coloring in this book. This is a page, and let me lower you down some so you can see it, that I colored using Castle Art colored pencils. And I'm going to give you a hint. In my next video, which is my haul video, the last one for a while that I'll be doing, I bought some pencils. And so what I was doing, I was testing them out in this book. But I also was testing out my lessons that I was learning as I watched YouTube. So I think I did pretty good here. Yeah. So I use my Castle Art color pencils, the Soft Touch series, I believe, for this one. And I'm going to move you up again so you can see the other page. Then on this page here, I was testing my skills of what I was learning with some pencils here and here. I'm going to bring you down so you can see it better. And this is how it looks. On this illustration here, I was using Star Joy colored pencils. And I also did it here. I'm going to turn the light down just a little bit because it looks really bright to me, so you can see it a little bit without all the extra light. I did, however, use some glitter pen here from King Arts. Yeah, on the little circles here. And I used a little bit of white gel pen. And I think these little illustrations turned out fairly nicely. I was very proud of myself. Yeah. So that is it for this book. I'm going to be working on the other part of this book here on this page and later in February. And guess what? That is it. That's all I colored in January 2026. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Until next time, you know what you better do? Keep calm and keep coloring. Bye.